Thanks, Hagan. And now in your Iowa news, the Iowa Board of Regents approves 10 recommendations to diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Iowa's 3 public universities. Now, across the nation, Republicans criticize the program, believing it promotes an ideological agenda. State House reporter Skylar Chalal breaks down the Regents' decision along with the next steps for the colleges.
Iowa's 3 public universities are now tasked with restructuring their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, eliminating any DEI functions and staff positions not needed to comply with accreditation, and more than a dozen federal and state laws.
There are several programs that are by policy open to all students, but as they're marketed, they could create a perception that they're not available to all students. And so we're asking that universities re-examine that marketing and how these programs are presented to students to make sure that it's clear to everyone that these programs are available for all students.
After taking public comment on Iowa's DEI programs, more than 3,500 Iowans say there's no need to limit the programs, while almost 900 feel DEI programs need to be reined in. 2 board members voicing concerns believe Iowa's universities should be doing more than the bare minimum when it comes to focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Our decision should be what's best for our schools in cooperation with their leaders. Instead, we are micromanaging their decisions and imposing new political intrusions on freedom. Professors and leaders in our schools encourage critical thinking, discussion, and questioning to improve learning.
Board of Regent members supporting the changes say universities can still offer many of the resources as long as they serve all students and aren't categorized under DEI.
Can you separate out those DEI activities that are separate from support services for students? Do you have any in mind? Or?
I think that's a great example of what you were saying, that will be up to universities, but student support services that are available to all students.
The University of Iowa, Iowa State, and UNI say they're now gathering task forces to review and evaluate how the recommendations will reshape their programs. We'll have a better idea on what changes will be needed when they present an implementation timeline to the Iowa Board of Regents in April. In Des Moines, Skylar Chalal reporting.
Thanks, Skylar. Now in other Iowa news, an Iowa teen is facing the possibility of life in prison for his role in the murder of his Spanish teacher. Jeremy Goodall will be eligible for parole in 25 years. Goodall is one of the 2 teens who pleaded guilty in the 2021 murder of Nohima Grabir. Now, Goodall read a statement in court Wednesday apologizing to Grabir's family. He and his co-defendant, Willard Miller, were 16 years old when investigators say Grabir was beaten to death and her remains concealed under a tarp, wheelbarrow, and railroad ties. Miller was sentenced in July to life with the possibility of parole in 35 years, but he is appealing that sentence.